Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack number 11. This is day 6. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and we're going to do a little fragment and reticula on this phi tile. I'm going to find my little sweet spots here and mark them very carefully with my little pencil. And I'm going to do it on both sides and both ends. This is a nice little exercise to do for a while, and I think what will happen is you're going to get used to where these places are, and you won't have to do it because it doesn't have to be exactly there. It just has to be
You get that
approximate.
sense
You'll
of,
get that sense of where it is.
near 2/3, but
Yeah.
it's a little different, and I love the using tools sometimes just to get started, but then you get a sense of place after you've used them a bunch of times, and you can almost guess, how much is a teaspoon or how much is a cup or how long is a foot.
Right. So I'm holding this tile straight in front of me and then just pulling the pencil towards me, and I can get a pretty straight line like that. And what I'm doing is I find this sweet spot that I want to focus on right here, and I'm going to put down my first square.
So she's setting up a reticula, but she's doing it by drawing the first, in this case, square, the first part of it. And that, like she said, is just centered right on that. And I love that deliberate, non-deliberate stroke
Right.
there.
So I'm working back and forth with my graphic one, which is the heavier, bolder pen here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some lines that are going to mimic the ones that are here.
She'll use that square to as the seed for the whole reticula.
Right. So here I go with my 01, and you can see that I'm really not concerned about the lines being straight, just straightish. I kind of want some character to this one.
So it's a really good counterbalance to my straight lines.
I know. That's right. Yeah. Who's it? Jack Sprat could eat no fat.
Right.
His wife could eat no lean. So here we got the start of this reticula, and I'm going to mimic the other way too. I really loved doing this tile. This was fun.
Well, I like the lightness of how you're holding or drawing the reticula. And there's this difference in texture as you draw it as well.
Okay, so I'm going to go in and aura the inside of each one of these squares, and I'm using my 01. A nice aura.
And following the
wiggly,
the casualness of
yes.
the line there.
I like that. That makes me sound more sophisticated.
Right, the casual
yes,
line.
The casual line.
So already you're starting to see these. That's just a wonderful pattern. I can imagine that on some fabric right?
Mm-hmm.
But wait,
there's more. So I tried to give you a very clear indicator of what that square is. I don't want you to touch that until the end. Right now I'm going in and adding some detail on the cornice where these squares come together. I'm just putting an X that brings together almost like a molding effect, right?
Like it's a mitered.
A mitered, yes. How easy is that?
Right?
Look at that.
Like
That
all
is
of a
too
sudden.
cool.
So now a really tight aura.
Yeah.
I like that you did that phi one with the graphic one. It just really sets it off.
So I'm going to go in all of these squares again and give them another border inside, but a little bit closer than the other ones. These are great exercises with your pen. Don't 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 not do these things. These are all we're always working towards the idea that our hand will do it a little differently next time. And the more we do it, the more it'll listen to what you're telling it to do.
And as casual as those initial lines were, the auras hug it really deliberately.
So again, I put some color in there so that you wouldn't touch that square and by mistake. So we're going to do 2 different fragments, and we're going to do them every other one. So every other one I'm putting in a little circle. So pay attention to what you're doing. Every other square.
Right, so she's sort of like even putting her finger
Right.
there on it, right?
And the circles could be anywhere in there. You can find the ones that you've missed here. I missed a couple. Okay, I think I'm going to go back here. Get them
Right, so
circled. Yep.
So it's a version of, it's like a checkerboard or a chessboard
Yep.
of fragments here.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the ones that are empty, and we're going to put a diagonal, sort of following that miter in each one, just one diagonal.
And you'll notice that she is leaving that small aura untouched. So it's gonna frame whatever is inside the fragments.
Looks interesting, right?
Right?
Okay, so we're going to go in and put in some...
It's like a version of well, the beginning of well. Yeah.
Beginning of well. Well is a beautiful tangle. I go back to it often because it has such an impact in so many different ways. And I'm going to spin this clockwise, every one of them. So if you think of it coming off that hub in the middle, always going to go clockwise.
Yeah, so it's like it sort of looks like in a camera, like the...
Yeah, what's that called? The
Right.
aperture?
Yeah, right now I'm blanking on
Yes,
it.
that's not what it is? No?
No, it's like the way you set the f-stops,
Oh, okay.
but it's the aperture, but those little leaves, I think anyways, I'll look
It'll
it
come
up
to you
later.
tomorrow, yeah. So now I'm going to go between those lines that went to the corner, and I'm going to add one that gets thicker as it gets to the frame. So shoot for the center right there, and then make the base of it a little heavier.
And there's that sense of taking off. So you see when she begins the stroke, she's semi-tracing either on the paper or in the air,
Right.
that central circle. So you get a nice even connection, like you're winding something on the spool.
Or it looks like it's going to take off.
Right.
Like a little, what do you call those?
Those little pinwheel.
Pinwheels, yeah. Or a windmill.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the effect that black is having, making it more exciting.
Right. So we're introducing some nice light and dark contrast here.
I love working with fragments and reticula because even though you know it's going to be cool, it always ends up to be really cool.
And then once you have one done, and it's all the same thing, but they're all different on that one, and yours will be different from this as well.
Okay, so now holding it, the way we've been holding it, in what direction we've been holding it, I'm going to put a square in the upper left-hand corner, like a flag, like the American flag, or.
Yeah, many countries do have that, and you'll notice she's sort of coming from the middle of each side there.
And I'm going to take my graphic one, that fat pen, and fill almost all of it. And so you can do that fairly quickly, but remember that it's wet. This pen stays wet for a little while, so you want to work so that your hand isn't on it. So if you're right-handed, you want to go to the right. And then we're going to go in and touch it up with the O1.
So this is just another technique, and the two pens work well together because they have the exact same ink.
So now I'm going to go in and sculpt it and make it look like what I had planned here.
So you can see, you can like
Sculpting the lines, yeah.
sculpting the edge, and right.
Mm-hmm. Like when I'm sewing, I'll wait to cut all the threads at the end instead of doing it each time, cleaning it up. So it's starting to look pretty good, right?
And I love how, every time she's like quote unquote done, there's always like go back and going to touch that up, and that I want to pay attention to that. And sometimes I think it's more like, like somebody pets a cat or something. It's like just being in touch with it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, those curved lines are going to serve us well because they're going to give us some, almost like this was made out of cement, but all done by hand, no tools, using just a trowel or something. So you can see the slabs of cement are kind of wiggly and have some good character.
So Maria's adding graphite on the same part of this fragment. So in this case, it's in the lower left of each one, or the bottom one.
The bottom section.
We had seen a vase in an antique store, and it was made of like ebony and ivory and mahogany or something like that.
It was beautiful, yeah.
And of the three colors, and it has that idea of it's like a little box or something that's receding and into shadow there.
So now we're going to go into that well pattern and color in with the graphite pencil every other one, or something fairly similar to every other one.
So I like that these fragments are real complementary of each other. One's very square and the other one's very curved and circular.
A nice balance.
Yeah.
It's coming together nicely.
And there's such a difference. So even if you're not tapering the light from light to dark, just it smooths it and makes it push into the fibers with the tortillon.
So now I'm going to add some graphite to the frame, and I'm going to add it to the right-hand side of each frame.
And then, right. So we're really getting some dimensionality, and you can see how valuable that little gap is, that very, very narrow aura gap. It really sets off the inner fragments. It's like a narrow matting or something.
So I'm going in, and I decided I was going to go around the circular thing there so that it might set back a little more.
And it pushes that pearl forward.
So these are the colors I'm working with. And now we're finally going to get to that magic space right there. And we're going to do like a very abstract, kind of fun, not Matisse, almost pointillism kind of thing, throwing in the colors here and there, willy-nilly. Doesn't matter where. We're just going to take the three colors. This one's green. And put a little bit here, a little bit there, speckle it in like the background of of a
of a something.
yeah, of a painting. Yeah.
Right, so there's this like lovely texture. It's very natural, like maybe three different mosses growing together and this is just like they found a comfortable way to be together.
Yeah. So I had a yellow, an orange, a ochre, an orange, and a green.
And also with different pressures too. But wait, I love how this, like, when they move together now.
So I'm going to start from the outside, just bring it towards the middle and blend them all together. Like, it's so that like it's a blurry, beautiful contemporary painting.
Right, like you're looking through like some gauze or some, yeah, it's very nice.
So I'm going to go in and add some more of that orange.
Really nice. So just to frame it a little bit, well, she's going to
So
add
I'll
some.
add some graphite on the outer edges. Pretty heavy-handed. You want that to recede. You can see how fast that happens. Look at that.
And I really love how the graphite and the color work together here, and you can blend them so nice.
So you sort of filling in the corners and the edges, and then leaving the middle. Don't put any graphite on the middle at all.
That's really cool.
How fun is that?
It's like this skylight onto this magic sky,
Right.
in some coffered ceiling.
How fun.
Very cool. So you need your chop on there someplace. Yeah, so you
No,
know.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, I know,
Wait.
but I'm just saying, there's no rush on this, and take your time and have a really good time in pausing, because you'll notice, like, Maria takes time between each one of these, and sometimes I'll cut it out, but she's just pondering it and looking at it, and then gets an inspiration of what to do next. So understand that these videos are edited just so it doesn't take up so much time.
And play with the mixing two fragments together, and that it's kind of a fun way of doing things. You might even do lines of them, instead of every other tile. Look, I wanted to see this other color. This was my first iteration, but you can see the different colors, how they mix together.
Right.
I hadn't added any graphite yet, so this is kind of cool. It was like putting icing on the cake. It's
Yeah.
like my favorite part.
And you might, once it's smoothed in, it's almost like you don't notice it right away, but it just makes it so wonderful. So again, thank you for spending some time with us, and we hope this is good inspiration, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Bye now.
Thanks.